Okay, let's jump right in. One of my favorite apps, Notebook LM, just rolled out some amazing new features, and they're all about getting creative. Today, we're going to look at how this tool can really become your AI partner for thinking and, well, making stuff in some pretty unexpected ways.
I just love this way of thinking about it. I mean, if you remember the old Trapper Keepers, you were in total control, right? You decided what went in, what you kept, how it was all organized. And that's exactly the idea behind Notebook LM. You bring the sources, you check the content, and you always have a say. It's an AI tool where you're the one in the driver's seat.
So, what's actually new? Well, two simple but really powerful buttons have popped up. One that makes infographics and another for slide decks, or, slideshows. And these aren't just for summarizing text. Nope, they're for turning it into completely new visual things. Let's just see how they work. To really get a feel for what these new tools are capable of, we're going to dive into our first case study. We'll start with something pretty straightforward, something factual, just to see what kind of quality we're working with here.
So, I was reading this really fascinating article about thousands of mysterious ancient holes that were found in Peru. It's the perfect kind of source material, It's current, it's a little bit strange, and it's full of different theories. Just the sort of thing you want to feed to an AI and see what it spits out.
All I did was drop the web link for the article in as a source. And from there, it's super simple. You just select that source, and you're all set to start making things. I specifically asked it for an infographic in a hand-drawn sketch style, and wow, just look at what it came up with. The style is awesome, the text got simplified down for a younger audience, and it actually walks you through the whole mystery. It even gets into some of the wilder theories, like aliens. It's a fantastic starting point. Of course, as a teacher, you'd still want to double-check the images to make sure they're, accurate.
But of course, I didn't stop there. Using that exact same article, I just hit the slide deck button. You can tell it what language to use, how many slides you want, all that stuff. And in just a few minutes, boom, they created a whole presentation, going even deeper into the theories about those holes.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. I have played with so many AI presentation tools. A lot of them you have to pay for. And the quality here is it's genuinely impressive. The text makes sense, the images fit, and there's a real story being told. It really feels like a huge step up. Okay, so we know it can handle factual articles. That's cool. But what about something more personal, something more creative? Let's move on to the next case study and see what happens. For this one, I used something totally different, the lyrics from a song I wrote. The song is called The Ballad of Rufio, and it tells the story of this little orphan black cat who, after a pretty rough start, finally finds a family that loves him. It's a story. It's got emotion. It is not a list of facts. I really wanted to see if the AI could capture that vibe.
And just so you have some context, this is a real cat. We named him Rufio, after the leader of the Lost Boys from the movie Hook, the one with the red mohawk and the battlecry, Bangarang. I even gave the AI a picture of a little black kitten with a red mohawk to give it some visual inspiration.
And would you just look at this? It created this absolutely beautiful, heartwarming infographic that tells the whole story from the song lyrics visually. It totally nailed the emotion and the story's journey. This just proves that the tool isn't only for data and facts, it can handle art and storytelling. It's so good.
All right, now for our final example, we're going to get a little wild. What happens when you mash up two totally unrelated sources? When you take a creative story and you just smash it together with, a page of math problems? Let's find out.
So, on one side, we have all our stuff about Rufio the cat, the song, the backstory, and on the other side, I just uploaded a simple document full of long division problems. These two things have absolutely zero in common. I mean, what could an AI possibly make from that? So this is the key. The human instruction. I gave it this simple prompt. I asked it to make a slideshow about a Thanksgiving quest where Rufio has to solve challenges to find his family. It took me, a minute to come up with that? The AI's job was to somehow weave the math and the cat story together into that quest. And honestly, the result was just phenomenal. It didn't just list stuff. It created a whole narrative adventure called Rufio's Grand Division Quest, a complete story with a beginning, a middle, and an end.
So let me walk you through this. The AI turned the math problems into story obstacles. Get this. First, Rufio meets some squirrels and has to solve a long division riddle to find a path. Then, he bays a cranberry toll to an owl, he navigates a maze of logs, and he follows these twinkling lights towards the smell of a big dinner. And at the end, he finds an open door, gets welcomed into a home, and gets to eat Grandma's stuffing. It's this incredible blend of storytelling and, of all things, long division. So after seeing all these examples, from a news article to a crazy creative mashup, the real question is, what can you do with this? The tool is obviously powerful, but it's really just a launchpad for your own ideas. So here's the main takeaway. You can turn pretty much any source, an article, a PDF, a song, into something visual and compelling. And you're not stuck with just dry factual stuff. But most importantly, you can mix and match completely different sources to create something totally new and unexpected. The AI is the engine, but your creativity, that's the fuel. And that really is the bottom line, isn't it? I've had my fun showing you what's possible, but the real magic happens when you start playing with it yourself. The joy is in clicking those buttons, trying weird combinations, and just seeing what you can come up with. So, I'm going to leave you with that question. Whether you're a teacher, a student, a creator, or just someone who's curious, think about the sources you've got lying around, the articles you read, the ideas you're kicking around. What magic are you going to create? Now go get to it.